and welcome to Healthy Bites for Less. I'm Kris Benusa, a registered dietitian with Tri-County Memorial Hospital in Whitehall, and I'm also a member of the Healthy Weight Coalition of Trempealeau County, whose vision it is to reduce chronic disease by promoting a healthy weight. One of the focus areas they have is to increase the consumption of fruits and vegetables. Today I'm going to share with you a recipe for shrimp with penne pasta, which will pair with a vegetable and a fruit. The meal is healthy, it's low in fat, low in calories, and low in sodium. And best of all, it tastes great, it's easy to prepare, and it doesn't cost a lot. A serving of the shrimp pasta costs less than $1.25. The entire meal can be made for under $2 a serving. Compare that to the cost of a Happy Meal, which runs anywhere from $1.99 to $3.99. It just goes to show that you really can eat healthy, nutritious, well-balanced meals without having to pay a lot of money. You just really need to pay attention to your sales flyers and shop for products when they are on sale. The shrimp I got on sale for, I believe it was $4.99 or $5.99. What you're going to do with shrimp when you buy it is, of course, you keep it in the freezer, and the night before, you put it in the refrigerator to thaw overnight, and then you're going to want to rinse this under cold water. This shrimp is already prepared, ready to eat, so it's not going to require a lot of cooking. Just going to rinse it off nicely here. Shrimp is a great low-fat, high-protein, high omega-3 fatty acid food. Omega-3 fatty acids are really good for us. They help play a vital role in reducing the risk of heart disease and stroke. The next thing we'll need to do is add our oil, and the recipe calls for about a tablespoon of olive oil or canola oil. You really can use any oil of your choice. These tend to be high in monounsaturated fat, which is really good for your heart. So we'll put some of that in here, about a tablespoon. I've already put the burner on. And while that's getting hot, we're going to chop up some of the garlic here. And garlic is also good for our hearts. This is what a bulb of garlic will look like in the store. And then around that bulb are little cloves, such as this. And I have a garlic press, which I like to use, but you can also just chop it up. So we're going to get about 4 to 5 of these crushed up. So we'll get this garlic crushed up. Garlic is a great ingredient that's often used in the Mediterranean diet, which is a very good for you, heart healthy diet that emphasizes lots of fruits and vegetables. It also emphasizes the use of healthy fats, such as an olive or a canola oil, and whole grains, along with plenty of fish. And since heart disease is still considered one of the top chronic diseases, it's really a good idea to try to eat as heart healthy as possible. Okay, so I've got this garlic ready to go, and now I'm going to toss it in the pan with the oil and saute it up a bit. So I'm going to saute this over a medium heat for just a little bit here. And while this is sauteing, I need to open a couple of cans of tomato. I'm using a diced tomato today. I do recommend that you buy these diced tomatoes on sale. I'm not endorsing any particular brand. I just buy whatever's on sale. They're great because they're shelf stable, so you can certainly stock up and not have to worry about it going to waste. There we go. You can also sometimes get these diced tomatoes with other herbs in it. I have one can that has basil, garlic, and oregano. The other can doesn't have any, which is fine. Tomatoes are one of those rare vegetables that actually are better for you once they're cooked. It releases more of the antioxidants, which are helpful in keeping us healthy. Okay, now we're going to add the shrimp. Saute that with the garlic. Probably going to turn the heat up just a little bit. There's really not an exact science to it. With the shrimp, it just needs to be heated through because it is a ready to eat. And we don't want to overcook it either. This meal is really easy to prepare and quick. We'll go ahead and add our tomatoes. Actually, I'm going to hold off the tomatoes. I'll let this cook a little bit more. My water is boiling over here, so I do want to add my pasta. The pasta, generally, you want to cook till it's about al dente, maybe about 9 minutes. Read the package directions. They usually tell you what you need to know. When you are looking for pasta, the best thing to do is to buy a whole grain. Now, how do you know if it's whole grain or not? Sometimes it can be tricky. Well, there is a new food stamp available, and I just want to show you that on the box that will let you know that you've got a good whole grain product. Let's pour that in. And then just to talk a little bit more about that stamp, there are 2 different varieties of stamp available. The basic stamp will have at least 8 grams of whole grain per serving, which is 1/2 serving of whole grain. The 100% stamp has 16 grams of whole grain per serving, which is a full serving of whole grain. You could choose to eat 3 servings of 100% whole grain, and that would be a really great goal for the day. If not, you can eat 6 servings of whole grain from the basic stamp items, which is probably what you're mostly going to find. And the overall goal as far as grams go is 48 grams per day. One of the other tricks that I will share with you today is if you want to prevent that foam up that comes when you are preparing pasta, you can take olive oil or any oil and spread it around the outside or the inside rim of the pan. And that'll help prevent it from climbing up and over and creating a mess on your stovetop. The other thing about pasta is you really want to take care that you let that water come to a full boil, that you have enough water in the pan, so it really is good to use a good sized pan when you're making and preparing pasta. And then you do want to periodically stir it. So while that's cooking, I am going to go back to the shrimp, give this a stir over here, make sure I'm not burning anything. And it looks really good. You might notice with the shrimp that there's a slight pink color. That is because shrimp has carotenoids in it that give it that color, and what happens with carotenoids is they are converted to vitamin A in your body. So, another little healthy tidbit there, and we will throw in the diced tomatoes. A lot of recipes that I see that call for diced tomatoes, I just double up, because more is better when it comes to vegetables. We are seriously lacking in getting enough fruit and vegetables in our diets. So don't be afraid to add extra vegetables to any recipe that you might be making. To season this dish, I'm going to add some basil. And the basil I have is actually from my garden. I grow fresh basil. And then it's kind of fun to pick the basil. You have a bouquet of fresh basil. You take the stems and you tie a rubber band on it, and then you hang it upside down from, I just use from my cupboard handle. And then once it gets dry, you take the leaves off, and then all you have to do is put them in the palms of your hand and go like this, and you come up with fresh basil of your own. So we're going to add about a teaspoon in here. The other thing with recipes is you really can kind of pick and choose your seasonings and mix it up for variety. I'm going to add a little lemon garlic pepper to this as well. The great thing about this seasoning is it is salt-free. We'll get enough salt with just the canned tomatoes. So, just add some in there. Let's simmer here for a bit while our pasta finishes cooking. Give the pasta a stir. I'm actually going to take one of these out. Since I didn't set the timer initially, I do want to get an idea of where I'm at in the process. I think it still needs a few minutes. What I'm going to do next is I want to add my frozen vegetables. And you can cook frozen vegetables in any way that you want, but I happen to have a pan that has a steamer option on top of it. You can also microwave these. And so I'm just going to put my vegetables in here. They don't take that long to cook. I like them tender crisp. Put a cover on it. So that while the pasta is cooking, this is cooking as well. And next, what we're going to do while this is finishing off is we're going to go chop the pineapple up. So, have a great looking pineapple here. And you always want to, when you have or purchase your fruits, you always do want to make sure that you wash these under cold running water. And I'm going to just quick run it under some water. Because, like I tell my kids, you never know who's been touching this stuff. Okay, so there is our lovely pineapple. We're going to start by chopping the bottom off. And then we are going to chop the top off. Now this top piece, I like to try to cut nicely because it makes a great centerpiece for your meal. And you could just set it on the table like that with some bananas. It encourages people to eat their fruit. And then we're going to go ahead and chop the sides off. And you'll notice that you might see some of these what we call eyes, and you do want to try to get rid of those as you're slicing down the pineapple. Pineapple is a wonderful fruit. I know that sometimes people think it's kind of spendy. And I agree, but if you buy it on sale, you can get these for $1.99 a piece. One pineapple will generally give you about 6 servings. So when you think about it in that way, pineapple becomes pretty inexpensive. It's a great snack. It's a lot less expensive than a bag of chips. And it's really healthy and good for you. And of course, they're tasty. Okay. The next thing you want to do is the pineapple has a core, and you don't want to eat the core. So we're going to just cut around the core. Okay. And from there, you can do whatever you want with it. You can cut it into little pieces, which is what we're going to do here. Just toss it on the plate. Here's an efficient way to cut a whole bunch at one time. Again, just put a bunch on the plates. And we have a nice pineapple side ready to go. Okay, so we're going to check that pasta and the vegetables. Covers off. Oops. Sorry, that was a little loud, I know. Yep, this is good. Don't like it overdone. Vegetables are always a great source of vitamins and fiber. Low calorie, low fat, So good for you. And if you buy them frozen, they're really easy to make. There's not a lot of prep to it. It only takes a few seconds to include a vegetable in your meal. Okay, the pasta. Well, again, I'm just going to double check it. This is ready to go. So I'm going to rinse that out. Give my shrimp stir over here. And then take this over to the sink. Get rid of the hot water. I'm going to rinse it with some cold water just to stop the cooking process. Shake it out a bit. And then I'm going to toss this pasta right in with the shrimp and tomato. Gotta shut this off too. Okay, and then you're just going to stir this up. And it will be ready to go. So we'll put it on our plates. We're going to top this off with just a little bit of shredded Parmesan. Grab my plate over here. Shrimp, tomato, pasta. Some veggies on the plate. And you have in front of you a healthy, low-cost, nutritious meal. Bon appetit!